Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoin in Real Life. It's almost getting to the end of the year, and I had someone write to me a while ago. It's Crypto, and he said, "I generally enjoy your videos. Hope to see more from you soon. Keep them coming. We need more community-inspiring videos like this." Well, thank you very much, Crypto. This was about 2 weeks ago, I guess. What was that, around November, end of November? Anyways, I don't do a video every time, every day, or even every week. Just whenever I have a chance to, grab my little camera phone and just say what I want to say. Um, that's kind of, excuse me, what I do here. So let me get back here. But thank you, Crypto, very much. I appreciate your comments, and yes, I will continue to make videos. In this particular episode, this may be the last video for 2016, because I'm going to try to enjoy the holidays with my friends and family. And yes, I do have friends, and well, I don't know about friends, but I definitely do have family, wife and kids to celebrate the holidays. So, anyways, in this particular episode, I guess what I'll do is I'll do a Christmas special. I'll go into a couple things. I guess it's been a while since I'll do like a price analysis and some price prediction. I always think the price of Bitcoin is going to go up, but I'll try to do a more serious, in-depth look at the price, both chart on. I'm just going to just do Bitcoin, but as you can see, it's recently changed here. Bitcoin has stalled a little bit. It's at 268. It was almost at 277, almost 280. I mean, not 768. It hit 777, almost 780, but quickly pulled back. It's just not able to go beyond right now 780. So I think we might have hit the high for the year, considering this is what's today? What is today? Jeez. Oh, okay. So it's December 11th, 2016. What is today? Saturday, Sunday? Oh, Sunday. So, yeah, you're not gonna, not too much time to make all new high. Try to go higher. I think that's just too much. A couple factors that I'm considering is, I guess people would like to sell their Bitcoin right now. So let me just go into a chart here, and this is the Christmas special for anyone who's gotten into Bitcoin or is recently purchased a Bitcoin, or you sold your altcoin for Bitcoin and whatnot. So I'm looking at the Bitstamp. I can't have a chance to get it focused. Oh well, it's at Bitstamp on 1 week, and looking at this, it does look pretty strong. It looks pretty strong. On a weekly, it takes a while for momentum to, or for the price movement to show, compared to the momentum that it's going at. If you right there, you see the two lines here. One being a 10 period moving average, the other one being a 20 or 25 period moving average, weighted. or weighted. Um, and if you look at it, I mean, it's been it's crossed over, trending upwards. Um, depends Really depends where or what you're looking at. If you're a wave theorist, whether this right here, this little bump is considered 1, and this whole thing is considered 3, and then 5, the fifth wave being this particular leg upward, it may move up a little higher. And, I mean, there's a chance that it could break this year, but considering the seasonal climate where uh, people are going to probably be expending their Bitcoin. In other words, people are going to be using their Bitcoin to buy stuff. And if the price has gone up pretty high, almost to higher than this level here. Let me see if I can just back up here. And so, like, you're looking at almost levels like right about here, where the price started after it went up to 1,000, it went down and just it's ranging. So if you bought Bitcoins here, you're now basically breaking even at these points here, which I guess is good, considering that's kind of when I think a lot of people probably did buy here in this area, and then unfortunately kind of rode that wave down only to go back up. But I can see a lot of people trying to sell their Bitcoins. Anyone who in that price area that bought back then probably wants to break even, so they could probably sell. Another thing is people buying things, and the merchants will probably not hold Bitcoin. They'll probably sell out in the market, and then on a technical analysis, this is the 1 week, and the 1 week will, it shows like it's really strong, but considering how long it's been trending this way, it's been trending kind of long time, and on a 1 week period, the trend will show for a very long time. But if we kind of work our way down here to the 3-day, here's the 3-day here, and that kind of gives you an idea of what happened in the last 2 years, 2014, 2000. Let me see, 13, 14, 15, 16, 2016 right here, and 15 somewhere being right around here. Anyways, you can see that it's just bouncing off that. Whenever they come close, the two lines, the two averages, they come close, they bounce off of each other, especially the longer period average, and then bounce up from there. Sometimes even if you look right there, crossing over and then bouncing back up and then bouncing up from there. So and again, this is Bitstamp on a 3-day. So you're seeing a lot of that, and I would expect after this bounce right here that it would just really be sharp and just push through like it did right here, but that's not the case. This pushed through, and then this is just a small bounce, and it's kind of towards the end of the year where I think a lot of selling pressure, there's a lot of selling pressure. Perhaps. I would think there would be a lot of selling pressure, but there's other factors involved where if you trade Bitcoin and the whole Coinbase IRS thing, if you sell, depending on your tax year, if you sell your Bitcoins and your tax year is at the end of December 31st, um, whatever you sell is what you have cash in hand, and that's all taxable, right? But if you just keep holding on to your Bitcoins all the way to the end of your tax year and beyond, um, you never really quote unquote cashed out, or you never really realized a gain. Realizing a gain and then selling your Bitcoins are two different things, all right? Literally, there are two different things. Um, anyways, the whole system, the whole current system, and why they're trying to tax each trade or transaction as a taxable event, um, obviously is because you know making money this way is way easier than getting a job, all right? And so you're being taxed, all right? You're being taxed in some ways with your job. You pay your Social Security, Medicare, but you're not being taxed because you made money. You're just being taxed because that's what they want to take out from you from your gross pay. Anyways, when it comes to trading, you're being taxed on the trade, and then you're being taxed on the income you made for the trade, and then because you don't really work, you work for yourself, you also pay into Social Security and Medicare, all that stuff, all 15%. So, um, it's kind of ridiculous. But that's if you're just what I would call a part-time trader, or a novice day trader. I trade all the time. So there's a different scenario with me where this is my full-time kind of thing here. This is full-time. This isn't just me putting money away into savings and then cashing out my retirement. When you actually make your living doing this, the from what I understand from my research, you become a hedge fund manager in some sense. You get tax treatment just like Warren Buffett, George Soros, you name it. I mean, you think they pay 30, 40%? No, they don't. They pay very little. Because in certain situations, or if you take advantage of certain tax situations, you you could pay very little tax. And you know what? It's set up that way. Um, the working person, in proportion to their income, to the amount of taxes that are taken from them, the money that's taken from them is way disproportional than, let's say, a, a Warren Buffett type of person, or investment hedge fund manager, and what they pay. So if you understand some, if you do some research, you'll find that you'll probably end up paying very little if you know how to take advantage of all those tax codes and everything. There's a lot of cost to it too, but and at some point, you have to make enough to make it worthwhile. But if you do this full time, it's different. It's different than what probably a lot of people are considering. So if you work and you have a job and you trade, you'll probably be paying higher taxes on your trades than someone who doesn't work, trades full time every day, makes their living off of trading. Those people get taxed a little differently because this is their living, buying and selling, buying low, selling high, buying low. Um, so, anyways, I got off track here a little bit. Um, so how people are taxed, if you do a little research, you'll find that if you do enough of these trades in a large volume, um, you consider yourself like a hedge fund manager where you'll get typically a lower tax rate on your capital gains. And then on top of that, if you buy back into these, I'm not sure if you can buy back into them, but if you buy back into your Bitcoins, um, where you don't really realize any capital gains, um, although I think they do tax you on the short term. But in any case, I'll let my accountant handle all that. But at the end of the day, when you don't really realize any capital gains, yes, you sold and then you bought. I mean, I'm not going to hold on to my coins when the price is falling, right? I'm gonna sell my coins, and then when I think the price is going to go back up, I'm going to buy back in with more coins, hopefully. And so all I know is at the end of the year, I think if you just have all your cash in Bitcoin, I don't know if you can say that you made any capital gains. That's just me. I don't think you can say you made any capital gains and the other thing you can do is wait after the end of your tax year and then sell all your Bitcoins. And then before the end of your tax year, buy all the Bitcoins. And you get into a little area where, it's kind of weird. The tax year is what you're being taxed for. So at the last day, at the end of the year, if you buy a whole bunch of Bitcoin and no money to show for it, I mean, no like hard cash in hand to show for it, I'm not sure if you can say you've made any money per se. I'm not sure. Because if you did, you would have to sell your holdings in order to do that. Anyways, let me get back to the chart here. I don't know if it's going to break that high right there. I think it might, but I don't think it's going to break hard. Just looking at charts, let me go down to the daily chart here. Oh. And if looking at the daily chart, you can see we've had a nice run up to the high. It did come back down, but it came back up, and it's not spiking. It's a very gradual. It's just gradual and gradual. And you can see it's been trending for quite some time now, and it's been bouncing off of that lower line. So in the short term, on the daily, I could see the price dipping and hitting the longer term weighted average, about 740. I can see it doing that before it kind of bounces up again. On a 12-hour chart. So on a 12-hour, it's definitely hit its high, and 12 hours is a really good time frame to look at. It's better than a 1 hour, but at the same time, you can see it's starting to turn over right there. You can see the average moving and then turning over. It hasn't gone below that. Let me see. Oh, yes, it has. It has slightly gone below that. And then again, here's on a 12-hour. Again, this is Bitstamp, and there's your current price. what is that, 757. So 757, you can see it. You can see the the average 10 period average here is starting to bend over here, and probably go down. So you might see, if you look at a 12-hour period, you see a little pattern here where it goes up, bounces off of that, goes up again, bounces off of that, goes up, and then oh, and the price bounced off right here, and then it goes up again, but it just seems to, it's wiggling and climbing its way up, but I think it's kind of running out of steam, because for me, on a breakout, on a true breakout, and it probably will break out, eventually will break out, but short term, I don't know if it can break out for the end of this year. So, and then on a 1-hour period, you know, it looks like we've had a very nice run up here. Let me see if I can. Okay. So there's that 778 right there. You see it coming down, and you see it going up, and now if you look at it closer, right around here, and I'm just looking at the average, you see it's crossed over down, and that short term, the yellow line right here, which is a 20 or 25 period average weighted, is becoming the resistance in this. Excuse me, let me see if I can, there we go. You can see that's becoming a resistance now, and it's trying to trend a little bit downwards. I'm not sure if it's going to go down, but I do think that it's, because if I look here on the short term, it's getting close, but never breaking through. And when I see things get close but never break beyond a recent high, that's usually a sign of exhaustion, like there's not enough buyers. What I do think is going on is that everyone is holding on to their coins. So if everyone already has coins, there's no reason for them to buy more coins, right? Because they're all expecting to the price go up. And as I watch videos of other people who trade altcoins, and they're saying on their video, I've sold all my altcoins and bought Bitcoins. Well, that tells me, well, there's a lot of people holding on to some Bitcoins now. And if they're holding on to the Bitcoins, where are all the other buyers? Well, the buyers have already bought all their Bitcoins. Unless there's new buyers or more buyers, or the existing buyers are going to buy more Bitcoin, I don't know if it's going to break out hard upwards. From what I can tell, it looks like it's a gradual climb, but it's never a hard push. I think buyers are being exhausted. And then the last thing I want to show you on the chart, and after that I'll go on to what I'm experiencing in peer-to-peer trades, and I think that might also help you in the get an idea of actual possible price movements. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the weekly, and what I've noticed here is, if you look at a certain time frame, 2013, 12, 22, or December, November area. You see this area right here? I'm pointing to the volume here. December, November area. Volumes kind of spike. The next spike up was right here in volume, and that was what? Oh, January. Let me see, did I get that right? Oh, January. Okay. So this happened after. So it almost seems like this is the new year. So we, so I've noticed November, December, January. You'll, there's a lot of price movements. Okay, and then the next one was right here. Looking at the three right there, and that was November. November. So December, January, November. So you're looking at uh, time frames during November, December, end of the year, all around the end of the year, you're getting a large spike. When I get to, um, but when I get to here, I don't, I'm not seeing that large spike anywhere in volume. See, one, two, three. So one, two, three. There should be four. There should be another large spike in volume here, but very little, very little. I don't know if that's to the down or to the up. I would expect um, a move, some movement in volume right here. I'm only on Bitstamp, I realize that, but still, um, there should be some spike in volume here. Um, either whether the price is going up or down, it's trending up, but I haven't seen that spike in volume. Um, so that's kind of the other reason. I like to say, I would like to say, I think it would go up, but uh, you know, it's just taking so long for it to move. I'm a little concerned. Okay, so let me go back to this, and I'll talk about some things that are happening in the peer-to-peer market that the reason why I think I don't know if it will make a new high, another high by the end of this year. Um, so I'm looking to buy some Bitcoins, and unfortunately, you know, this time of year, a lot of sellers are not available, and um, some have literally taken their vacations. Um, so that buying, those avenues of buying are not available right now. The other thing is, um, some have had one seller tell me, I'm trying to meet new sellers all the time. Um, I haven't bought from this seller, but I was just unavailable traveling. Anyways, I'm available now, and made a request to buy some Bitcoins, and turns out this seller is in India. Now, maybe they're there because they want to sell some Bitcoins for cash that's going to be burned and worthless, or the guy's Indian and he's just going back home. I'm not sure. But in any case, you know, there was a potential seller there that I could buy from, and then not available. So another seller's gone on vacation. So I'm left with not that many avenues. I can still get Bitcoin, but if half of my sellers, my miners, are not available to sell me any Bitcoin, I don't see how the price can be driven up on a peer-to-peer. If there's on, I honestly feel the price of Bitcoin is driven by the demand of the peer-to-peer market, not really because of the exchange markets. I think that's a secondary market, in my opinion. Um, if 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 exchanges are your first market, um, which I used to do, you know, exchanges were my first market. I have to tell you, I honestly feel I have to tell you this, that you're probably wasting your time. You could be doing something else that would make a much better return. Uh, Higher risk, yeah, there's some physical risk to peer-to-peer trading, but as far as the risk involved in losing your Bitcoin, it's probably, in my opinion, it's probably safer to do a peer-to-peer trade than it is to do trades on the exchange, because Bitstamp has been hacked, Bitfinex has been hacked, uh, gosh, those are the major exchanges, right? Local Bitcoins has been hacked. Um, and if you don't believe me, I mean, people have lost their Bitcoins on local Bitcoins. They were redeemed, they were made full, but at the same time, uh, you just get a lot of weird stuff. A lot of DDoSing going on where you can't access the exchange to get your coins or even do a trade. Trade engines failing, sites, exchanges going offline, imploding. Don't forget Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox was hacked. I'm talking about exchanges that are still existing and operational. If you talk about the ones that have failed, there's been so many exchanges that have failed. Another thing is, since 2013, a lot of Bitcoin companies have gone out of business as well. So I just, from what I could tell on a peer-to-peer market, it seems to me things kind of have slowing down. Not because they're not excited about Bitcoin or they think Bitcoin's going to go down in price. I think the opposite. I think Bitcoin has gone up in price so much. They haven't sold their Bitcoin. No one's really, um, most people haven't, I don't know. I have to say some of them may not have any Bitcoin. They just didn't buy any Bitcoin. They just bought what they did and they sold, and then they kind of just left it as is. That's kind of why I think the price of Bitcoin is just kind of hovering in that area. There's a good chance maybe in January we could see some new highs. Anyways, let me conclude this episode here real quick. This is a Christmas special where I will do the price analysis, because I've been hearing a lot of people saying they're buying Bitcoin now, and and everything. And for some of these, what I don't understand is, if you just bought Bitcoin and held on to your Bitcoin instead of moving it into different things and taking a gamble, I don't know. When it comes to trading, for me, I like to focus on one thing and put all my effort and concentration on that, because it's so easier to manage. And when you make the trading really simple, right? You only have one coin to trade. It's pretty. It's pretty easy to do this. So, anyways, let me conclude this episode, and thank you, Crypto, very much for watching my show. Hopefully this helps you if you recently got into Bitcoin. Let me see what I do if I did trade on the exchange. And so I'll give you two scenarios. All right. It's been riding on this 10 moving average for a very, very long time, which is understandable because trends tend to go for a very long time. But if you look at the timeline of these trends, that should give you a good indication of when they may turn the other way. So if you look at this timeline, I mean, this is a nice timeline, but you see the first indications of its downtrend right about here. So I would say, let's say beginning of 2013, you're seeing a nice trend, and it's moved up in 2000 by, let's say, right about here. So 2014, 04 April. So beginning of 2013, January 2013, all the way to April of 2014, the trend, if you look at the white line, moved up. So that's just about a year. And then from here on to this point to here, and that's 2014. When does it start? Oh, let's just say right here. That was the first signal. And let's see the date on that. The date is 2015-07. So April, about 3 months, 1 year and 3 months, you got the first signal that the trend was turning. Okay, so 2015, 07. Okay, and now we're into 2000. Well, we're into December 2016. If we add 3 months, we should be close. The time frame kind of indicates we should be pretty close to maybe getting our first signal of maybe something turning. I'm not sure when, you know, if you think about it, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it seems to be really close. It could be not. I'm not sure. There could be one jab upwards to break above, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen, because it should have already happened by now, in my opinion. It should have already hit 800, because if you look at this long-term trend, it's a big trend. The 10 moving period average is very close to this 10 period moving average. It should be a lot higher. It should be like literally, I think about, well, not that high. It should be in the 800s, well into the 800s. Matter of fact, I think it should be just right about here. That's where the price should be, right about here. But we're about $100 away. I don't think it's going to happen by the end of December, so maybe next year would be a good time. But I am a little concerned right now, because people are taking a little break. I don't know what's going to happen when they come back. But in any case, let me conclude this episode. I hope you all appreciate this Christmas special. My final thoughts on the price of Bitcoin. I think short term, there could be possible. Well, I think short term, two things are going to happen. It's going to be flat, because everyone's going to wait till the end of their tax year to sell their Bitcoins, so they don't have to report it for 2016. And you know, they made their gain. They could spend their gain. If they spend it, they definitely have to pay taxes. Or they could just wait to buy back in which case, you know, you would there wouldn't be any capital gains per se. But in my opinion, I think you don't, you know, because if you're just parking your money to retain its value and then buy back in, I mean, you're still subject to the fluctuation. So it doesn't make sense for me to count anything that's in Bitcoin as capital gains, because it's not capital gains. So anyways, feel free to like, dislike, leave a video response. I'm sorry, leave a comment or do a video response. Until next time, stay tuned.